And welcome to the Week 11 A.E.F.L. Weekly Summary, guys. And man, was it an interesting week as we had most of the lower record teams beating the teams with better records this week. For example, Will was able to pull off the big win against me as he beat me 118-97. The former Child Stars gets the win over BFE Baltimore pretty easily, 141-74. Then Old Smuggler, who at the time was 5-5, gets the win against Jacks On, Jacks Off, 112-88. They both are now at 6-5. Team Minivan, after last week where Dustin sets the record for most points in the league, you followed up with this week with 182 points, topping last week's highest score. Then you beat Liquor in the Front, Poke in the Back, who had just a god-awful 56 points, which I think ties Yates this year with the lowest point total for any game of the year. Then Raging Boners gets off another big win, beating Cocktoberfest 124-81. And Trevor, if it wasn't for that bullshit tie, you have now lost 3 out of your last 4 games, man. You've got to be concerned. You've got to be getting worried. I don't know if your name's going to be going on that plaque this year. And then the last game, the close one between the Grand Slam Breakfast Squad, which is Dustin, taking down the Inglorious Bastards 84-67, and Dustin's starting to rally off some points, which is really interesting. With 2 weeks left in the season, you have Will and Dustin 2 games, no, I'm not sorry, not 2 games, but 1 game back of the 2 guys ahead of them just for the playoff spots. And then in the other division, you have Brandon and I forget who the other person is, but looks like, you know, they're 2 games back. Those 2 are probably not going to make it. But going into scores this week, you had Will, like I said, take down me. I had the Willis McGahee injury, the Lynch bye, my kicker, who I usually start, had a bye and only scored 4 points there. Meanwhile, he had a big game from Dalton and Jackson, and then even bigger points that he left sitting on his bench. But nonetheless, he racks up 118 points and beats me pretty easily. Former Child Stars, big points all around, even with Julio Jones on the bench. Even though you get the big win, you got to be a little bit concerned about Gronk going down, as I see you don't have another tight end on your roster. I believe this is the last week for trades. I'll have to double check, but I'm not quite sure. But anyways, pretty easily big win there over BFE Baltimore. And then you have Old Smuggler picking up the win over Jacks On, Jacks Off. Yates, you got to figure out your wide receivers. Looks like Larry Fitzgerald is slowing down, and I forget who your other receiver was, but not very big points. But there was a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel as Justin Blackman just broke out with Chad Henne as a QB. Now that he has a QB that can get him the football, big points. So I want to think about that for next week. And then you have Tanner. I mean, big time trade. It looks like it worked out well. Stephen Ridley still put up big points, but you got to be concerned. How long is McCoy going to be out? Are you going to have him back in time for the playoffs? I would assume so. I mean, it doesn't look like too bad of a concussion, and we have 2 weeks left before the playoffs start. I mean, you're in the playoffs, so no telling what you could do there. And then you have Team Minivan putting up the biggest points. I mean, Andre Johnson and Matt Schwab just go off for you. Just go off. I mean, this is what you've been picturing all year long, isn't it? But congrats, man. Big win. Fichter, I mean, just toss it in. Just toss it in, man. Just I think it's just time to take her on in for the rest of the year. Then, like I said, Raging Boners beats Trevor. And Trevor, dude, how fucking concerned are you right now that you should have lost the last 3 out of 4? That tie, we're not even going to count that. That's bullshit. But you only put up 81 points, and you have Crabtree on the bench. I mean, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? And then Boner had a big game with RG3 just throwing and running all over Philly. And then you have Spiller. And then if you throw in the fact that he would start T.Y. Hilton more often, he'd have even more points. And then Dustin, buddy, man, you're rallying off some wins. You're within 1 game back of the playoff spot. I mean, if you can get another win next week, you're in good shape. And then Ben, I think we talked about this earlier this week, man. You got to start playing Devon Best some more. I mean, he's consistently scoring you points, and yet this week he's on your bench. Something to think about. But for now, let's get to this week's Justin Yates Hard Hit of the Week.
What if you did what if that was a chain reaction to him actually busting out the whole house? The whole fucking house just goes.
Oh, you think my house ain't sturdy enough?
No, I just thought it'd be funny.
Obviously, he's not gonna knock it down.
He's a judo master.
I
wish I could feel you express clothes.
Get it!
That's not happening anytime soon.
Give more. Get it. Get it.
Yeah, it's almost cracked. You can take it out.
And this week's Justin Yates Hard Hit of the Week is going to go to me, the commissioner, because I'm so damn upset about that Willis McGahee injury. You know, I had 2 solid running backs in McGahee and Lynch, and then the fact that I added Cecil Shorts, who, I mean, I need to start starting him because he's put up big points the last 2 weeks. And so with him replacing Brandon Lloyd in my starting lineup, I thought I was set for the playoffs, man. I thought I was set. Now I'm screwed. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to make a move. But for this week's Justin Yates Hard Hit of the Week, it goes to me. Now, for this week's A.E.F.L's Close Call of the Week.
Yeah, the best way to it was the fastest.
I got a concussion, guys.
And this week's A.E.F.L's Close Call of the Week goes to Ben. Why am I going to give it to Ben? Because I feel like he should have more wins than what he has. I mean, this guy second guesses himself more than the little black kid in the back of the classroom that Trevor is always making fun of. But regardless, Ben, I mean, come on, man. Yeah, you have a decent team. If you're able to play the right guys the right weeks, you might have some more wins. But, you know, I don't blame you because it seems like 1 week Brian Hartline's going off, the next week he's giving you 0. The next week, Devon Best is putting up big points. And next week, you know, he's just getting you the average points. But regardless, like I said, Devon Best is still putting you up good points every week. But, and then you throw in the fact that if Matthew Stafford would have played anywhere near like he did last year, you'd be a lot better off too. So this week's A.E.F.L's Close Call goes to Ben Parker. Now, real quick, going into next week's schedule, give me a chance to pull it up here. I will be taking on the former Child Stars. And then we have Jackson versus the Bradshaw Shank Redemption. That's a big game because Will's looking to sneak into the playoffs in these final few weeks, and Justin, coming off a low point total, might just get another win here. And then you have Team Minivan taking on Old Smuggler. Edwards is on the fringe of the playoffs as well. I think he actually holds the 4th spot in one of the divisions, and Tanner's, I believe, 3rd or 2nd. But regardless, big week for him as well. Cocktoberfest, Looker in the front, Poker in the back. Trevor just needs to get the win here. I mean, been a tough couple last few weeks, but hopefully he'll be able to pull it out. Then we have the Grand Slam Breakfast Squad taking on Raging Boners. With Boners team, you never know what you're going to get. As long as RG3 plays well and the Cowboys play well, he's going to get the win. So that always leaves the opportunity over for Dustin, as he might be able to sneak into the playoffs the last few weeks as well. And then you have BFE Baltimore facing the Inglorious Bastards. I think both these teams might be out of the playoffs at this point. But regardless, I mean, still a chance to add to the record. So, interesting week. This is week 12 coming up. We only have 1 week left after this, but I do have to bring something up with trades. I mean, with Willis McGahee going down, I might be doing something. So I got to get your guys' opinion. I don't know how I feel about it, so I'm leaving it up to you. So, I want to know, should we be able to accept trades that involve draft picks for next year? Now, we talk about already this year the teams that in the lower half of the standings kind of just giving up and just selling off their team. So my concern is like, yeah, you know, I think it's a great deal because nothing's guaranteed next year with that draft pick we're trading. But at the same time, is it the same, I guess, idea to where, oh, I'm not going to make the playoffs, so I'm going to start trading my guys and just try to stack up a lot of picks for next year so I can be stacked. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I like the idea as in, you know, I need the help, and, you know, since we are in this league long term, you know, we should be able to maybe like plan around and like be strategic, but at the same time, I feel like it's dumping your team to where you give up on the year and you just start planning for next year. And it seems like the guy who makes the more trades could stack up for next year. So I don't know how I feel about it. So I'm asking you guys, I don't want to hear exactly opinions. I just want yes or no. And like a democracy, we'll go by what's voted most for. So as soon as you get done watching this video, send me a text, and then I'll send you guys all a text back saying what the league decided. You know, I'm a good commissioner. I'm pretty fair and I'm pretty just. So I don't want to hear really no fucking complaints, because, you know, I'm leaving it up to the league in general how we want it to do it together, because we're all friends. At the end of the day, we're all friends, no matter how much I want to fucking bitch slap Will for taking the win from me. But, you know, he also did leave that great post on the league website today involving the football. But, so, like I said, just think about it and send me a text. And then until next week, guys, I will talk to you later. Sorry I won't be able to join you for football on Friday at 1 o'clock. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys then. Fuck you.